Right, so a couple of weeks ago, we took a look at the viral 9-month cruise. The ultimate world cruise, to be exact. As we can see right here, it's for 274 nights, 9 months. You can see 11 world wonders and 60 plus different countries. And as I mentioned before, this cruise went viral, specifically on TikTok. It's kind of became like a reality show at this point. Every time a new person makes a video on the 9-month cruise talking about some drama that's happened, literally the comments are just filled with new character unlocked, new character unlocked. Like, it genuinely feels like a reality show. And it's pretty entertaining, I can't lie, because for the most part, it's just light-hearted stuff. You know, in the last video, we spoke about a woman who had a pineapple on her door and people thought she was a swinger. Turns out she's just a really big fan of pineapples. Or so she says. Now, in all seriousness, she is actually my favourite character in all of this. We're going to speak about it a bit more today, and honestly, she's very, very funny. But it's not only Adita that we're talking about today, you know, the person who loves the pineapples. We've got a bunch more updates, so I guess this is episode 2 of the reality show, the 9-month cruise. Is that what we're going to call it? And you know what, to tie in with what I just said, here's a new character for you, Mark Sebastian, a TikToker with 1.5 million followers who has just decided to recently go on board the 9-month cruise. I believe he's only there for like 8 days or so. I think he saw it obviously going on TikTok, kind of want to see it for himself. And since he's decided to go on the 9-month cruise, he's made a few videos talking about the positives and negatives. He's mentioned a bunch of positives, you know, he's met people that are like now his friends, people who are really nice. There's obviously a bunch of other like TikTokers and whatnot on the ship that he's now made friends with. There are a bunch of positives. But he has also mentioned a few negatives, and some of which are pretty worrying.
Number 1, it is so fucking loud on this goddamn ship. It's so overstimulating. Non-stop music being pumped into every room, every hall, every dining room that you enter. I swear I sat on a chair and the music got louder.
Yeah, so that in itself would be more than enough of a reason for me to never go on that cruise. But also, it's not very surprising. There's a lot of people on this ship. They have entertainment for people. It is going to be loud. But I'm the type of person who just couldn't handle that, you know. Sometimes I just like to sit in the quiet, you know, a bit of peace. And by sometimes, I mean multiple times a day. So this is something that I just wouldn't be able to deal with.
Next, I will be pressing charges against the person who decided, no, I'm not going to put bottles of water inside of the rooms for guests to enjoy. Yesterday, I arrived to a empty mini fridge, not a bottle of water inside, babe. Call me crazy, but I do feel like for the price of the room, guests should be able to stay hydrated at their own convenience.
I mean, that's a crazy take, mate. Like, you really think after spending like $60,000 up to like $120,000, you should get water? It doesn't really work like that. Now, in all seriousness, this is probably the most worrying thing I've heard about the cruise. Apparently, there's like a big lack of bottles of water and people are really struggling to get them, which it goes without saying. And if I do have to tell you this and you didn't know this beforehand, I'm slightly worried for you. But water is kind of a necessity. But yeah, like I said, Mark has mentioned a few times now that he's really struggling to get bottles of water. It turns out like the Pinnacle members, you know, the people who spend like ridiculous amounts of money and have been on previous cruises before and they've got like credit or points or whatever it's called. The people who are being treated like royalty, basically, you know, they can have plenty of water, but the people who haven't spent as much are seemingly struggling to get it, which again, very worrying. Mark also goes to mention that a lot of people are just giving him dirty looks for filming and whatnot, and in fact he even shows a clip of someone like talking about him behind his back when he walks past.
See that? I'm dying. I thought I was videotaping them. I keep going like this.
Which, to be fair, I also wouldn't want to be surrounded by TikTokers for 9 months straight. I kind of get that. But he's not filming himself, he's just filming strangers. You are also on a really expensive cruise. People are going to be taking pictures and videos non-stop. Even people who aren't TikTokers, you know, people just take pictures and videos for their own memories. So yeah, as much as I get that it could potentially be annoying sometimes, it would never get to the point where I would say it loudly enough for the person to hear, oh, he's just going around filming everything, you know, just a really passive-aggressive comment. But if you've seen my last video, you will know already that a lot of people are complaining about certain people on the cruise. Some people just aren't as nice as others, which is going to happen when there's like over 1,000 people on a ship. There's going to be a bad bunch. Which again is another reason why I wouldn't want to be stuck in a 9-month cruise with them. I mean, here's another example of tension building between guests on the cruise.
Fucking aerialists flying through the thing and beaches.
You don't need to use the swear words, okay?
Oh. I think that it's fine.
This is a public area.
Oh, okay, well, I'm so sorry that you're offended by swear words.
I've seen too many.
Seen too many what?
Swear words.
Oh, well, I mean, I think I'm okay.
So just settle down.
Oh, okay, thank you. Don't tell me how to speak. Thank you very much. Anyway, go on.
Incredible vibes, I must say. Seems very peaceful, doesn't it? I mean, Mark did go on to say that, yeah, they were in a public area, but there's barely anyone on there, and there was no kids there or anything like that. But yeah, as we've been saying throughout this, you're stuck on a cruise with the same people for 9 months. There's gonna be a lot of tense moments. And in fact, the people who told Mark to stop swearing were Pinnacle members, you know? The royalty of the ship. And Mark even went on to say that these people just walk around with, like, Pinnacle badges on 24/7.
Yes, we were in a public space around no children, and you were the one trying to overhear what we were talking about. And I know they were Pinnacle members because they're all wearing their dumb little gold name tag that they all wear voluntarily to prove to exactly no one how superior they are. Babe, I can assure you that no one cares you have like 900 Royal Caribbean points, which means you've spent like 3 years on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, the name tag thing is hilarious to me. I can just imagine being on a ship and people walking around with their fucking name badges on, you know, head held high, thinking they're quite literally the royal family off the ship. It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Like, not if you're just wearing the badge because you're proud of it, but you're still going to be friendly to everyone. But if you're wearing it around to try and seem better than everyone else. Slightly embarrassing. But this is where we get to the updates from Adita, you know, the pineapple lady, as she's been dubbed on TikTok. And she mentions a bunch of stuff in this interview with Mark, and one of which she says that her daughter's won 2 Emmys.
I didn't even tell my daughter because my daughter is in Houston. And then
What's your daughter like?
Oh, she's won 2 Emmys. She's super smart.
Won 2
Opposite from her
Emmys for
brother.
what?
She was a producer.
Adita then goes on to say that she knows the family that have bought the most expensive room on the ship, so we are really learning a lot about Adita right now. She seems very powerful, doesn't she? She's got the daughter with 2 Emmys, she knows probably the richest family on the ship, like, I mean, she's just really living life. But you know, before when we said like the most expensive rooms were like $120,000, we weren't even close.
One of those crazy rooms that has a piano in it. I really need
I
to
know
find...
them well.
You do? Do you think they'll let me in and let me do a room tour? I need the explain piano.
They paid $765,000.
$765,000 to go on a cruise ship. The amount of money I would need in my bank account to even think about spending that much money on a cruise ship is wild. I think realistically I would need like 5 billion in my bank account to even think about it, but then again I still wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to go on the ship in the first place. But what I'm trying to say is there are some incredibly rich people on this ship. Clearly. I mean, we knew that before because the cheapest ticket for 9 months was like 54 grand or something, so we knew that, but 765k for a room is mental. They then go on to talk about the water situation, and this is where we find out that Adita isn't only just obsessed with pineapples and has an incredibly successful daughter and knows incredibly rich people too. She's also very funny.
How hard is it to get a fucking bottle of water in this goddamn
You
thing?
have to have status to get water.
I mean, it does seem like that, right? You need to have status to get water. Now, Adita here, and I do realise it seems like we're doing like a fucking biography of Adita, like we're finding out everything here. But this isn't Adita's first rodeo, you know? This isn't the first time she's ever been on a cruise ship. She's been on over 100, I believe she goes on to say. And she doesn't seem too impressed with the current ship, you know, the one for the 9 months.
I need to change my address.
To what?
To Royal Caribbean.
That's crazy. And you don't get seasick?
I actually did because I'm not used to this class of shit. This is very
Fine.
small.
Yeah, so she says that she's not used to this class of ship, I believe, even though the captions tell you otherwise. And she says that this one's very small. I mean, it looks big to me. I don't know. I know nothing about cruises, but yeah, clearly she wasn't impressed. But this is the point where we get into some more like serious updates because the ship did go through a bit of a crisis just a few days ago because the 12th floor on the ship got completely flooded when they went for a storm. Right, so as we can see right here with the overly sad music that they've put in the background of the video, the floor is completely flooded, I must say. I mean, it's went all over the carpet, as we'll see in other videos as well. It's went into like the gym and whatnot. The elevators weren't available to use anymore because for safety reasons, I guess. And I mean, this must be a bit of a nightmare, mustn't it? If you're paying such an extreme amount of money to try and get away and travel the world and probably, like, live in peace, I imagine, right? You'd want this to be a bit of a peaceful trip, surely. Waking up one day and seeing that one of the floors on the ship is completely flooded must, first of all, be quite scary. But second of all, it's just a big inconvenience, isn't it? Like, you can't use certain things on that floor now. Like I said, it flooded the gym and whatnot. I mean, we can actually see a video of the gym right here. I mean, people are still using it. People are just minding their own business, you know, getting on the treadmill, but It seemingly went everywhere. And this is before they went on the Drake passage, which I've got to say, I didn't know what that was. I genuinely thought, like, Drake had bought, like, a part of the ocean, which I thought, like, is he really that rich? But turns out it has nothing to do with Drake. It's just, like, a really, like, rough part of the ocean that they are going to be going through. I still believe to this day they haven't went through it yet. But basically, people were worried because the weather conditions are going to get a lot worse than what we've seen here, and we've seen what happened here, right? The floor got flooded. And not only was it just, like, the public rooms that got flooded, people's personal rooms got flooded.
My room was one of the ones that did flood today. Most of the rooms in the ship were completely flying, but where my balcony was, there is an overhang, and the rain was coming in so heavy.
Which at this point, this whole thing just seems so stressful, right? And they've paid a stupid amount of money to be on this ship. I get, like, exploring different countries would be great, like, that's the best part of it. But I'd rather just fly at this point, because this ship seems like an absolute nightmare. I mean, Nadine here, whose room did flood, actually shows the process of having to, like, dry the room with this blower. And I mean, look how loud this is.
Back in my room, and it looks like the blower is done.
It's not exactly peaceful, is it? But I guess this weather condition did worry the staff, you know, the captain and whatnot, because they did actually change the route. Because originally, they were going to have to spend 55 hours in extreme weather. This new route they're doing, they're going to have to spend 22 hours in extreme weather.
So we just got a new announcement from the captain. We are not going to Antarctica as scheduled. Rather, we are actually going earlier, because if we went the original route, it would have been 55 hours of 5 to 6 meter waves. So for my American friends, 5 to 6 meters is about 15 to 18 feet, and that would have breached over some of the outdoor levels. So instead, we will be going the day after tomorrow, and we will be doing 22 hours in the Drake Passage with still about 4 to 5 meter storms. So I think we might be getting the Drake Shake. To admit, I'm actually really excited about the Drake Shake.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this is the type of person who would love a ship, right? She's excited for the bad weather conditions. Fair enough, you live your best life. But as she just said right there, they're going to be going through this bad weather the day after tomorrow. This video was uploaded yesterday, meaning they're going to be going through tomorrow as I'm recording this video, meaning it's going to be today as you're watching this video. I made that way more confusing than it had to be. Basically, I record these videos like a day or two in advance. This video is going up tomorrow, which is when you're watching this, and when I'm also going through the Drake Passage. So as you watch right now, they're going through it. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying, hopefully everything goes fine and it's completely safe and everything goes swimmingly. Oh god, wrong choice of words. And now for the final update, and maybe the most heartbreaking update for the people on the ship, because they are currently running out of wine.
Well, all of you on TikTok, you've been asking for drama on the Ultimate World Cruise. We finally have some drama.
We have drama for you. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
They're running out of wine.
Oh, I've got to say, I love the meme. I love the little movie clip you put in there. Big fan.
They've told us here that we've gone through more wine than they ever anticipated, and that includes 3 pallets of just the Oberon Red. Not cases, 3 pallets of that one type of wine.
I mean, I can't say I'm shocked, because what else are you supposed to do on a ship like that? Because you've got days at a time when you're obviously not at, like, a destination, right? So you've got days at a time when you're just on the ship, you're just at sea. What else are you going to do? There's wine that I think is free for certain people. I don't know if you have to pay a certain amount to get the free wine. I don't know exactly how it works. But people are going to drink, because I guess that's all you really have to do. I think there's going to be some people on that ship who are going to genuinely drink more, or probably have drank more up until this point. It's been about a month now, than they have for the past few years. But yeah, heartbreaking news all around. I wish them the best. Thoughts and prayers are with them. Hopefully they get the wine situation sorted. But yeah, either way, that is the update with the 9-month cruise. If more stuff happens, obviously I'll keep you guys updated. I know in my last video, there was an overwhelming amount of comments telling me to keep this going with more updates as it goes, and with it being a 9-month cruise, hopefully we will have content for most of the year, which is great. But no, no seriousness, genuinely hope everyone is safe. That's the main thing, right? And hopefully they have a great time. But yeah, either way, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.